Um, I picked up on a great deal of the young men of having great survival strengths and how they're bringing those tools from their environment and seeing how important it is to have an education and coming here and making it more well-rounded for them. But you have a lot of warriors, a lot of warriors.
Okay.
And I learned quite a bit from them.
Thank you.
Can I ask what strengths you saw in addition to that about their communication skills during the interview?
Okay, I'm just going to choose two. Latarius has excellent interpersonal skills, and he has personality plus. He has thick skin. He'll do well in any environment that he goes into because he tends to me, he tends to project a respect of the next person, of humanity in general. And that can take you a long way. Jordan was very nervous, and he didn't appear that he was sure of himself. But he pulls from being very analytical because he has such a solid background in computers and whatnot. And so I think that if he had the ability to be exposed more socially, to engage more, then he can strengthen his interpersonal skills. But your students are excellent.
Every one of mine had good eye contact. Looked me in the eye and had good eye contact. So as far as that. And they all had a very, congratulations, great handshake. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, I know that's something worked on, and I was very impressed with that they were all so good. And they, all but one had very nice body language, and even the one who did not have great body language had, was just in a closed position most of the time rather than an open position, but still was calm and collected, wasn't fidgeting, was a closed position but not fidgeting, looking elsewhere. So I would think I think they all had good body languages, two had great body language and used an open position.
Yeah, I'd say with that, like, the confidence that they're showing through their body language and their eye contact has improved so much since, like, the first time I saw them. And, like, you can really tell that at this point they are starting to feel confident and comfortable with themselves, and it's kind of all through the way they're sitting. You know, when we first started, everyone's, like, looking at the floor, and you can just tell through their eye contact and body language that they really are starting to get comfortable with the idea of interviewing. So I thought my kids were really great at that.
Yeah, mine all had really great eye contact and really strong body positions. One of them was doing this a lot, which I think had to do with the nerves, and the big downside of that is that I actually really noticed the difference in the handshake between the greeting and the goodbye, because the goodbye was really clammy, because she was sweating herself up. And the thing that I really thought was a big strength for them was that they all were really articulate about how passionate they were about learning and the thing that they loved the best to learn. Because even when they would bring up something that they didn't like learning, it totally paled in comparison to how excited they were about the thing that they loved.
I also made the mistake of letting them use the swivelly chair. And so the whole time they were like back and forth. But besides that, it was good.
Yeah, all the students I interviewed seemed excited to be here, which I think is really important for an interview.
And they gave very detailed responses, but not too detailed. I think sometimes interview questions can go on and on and on. And so they gave enough information to tell me about who they were, but not too long to where, you know, I might lose interest or get distracted. So I think they gave very concise and thorough answers. And I really liked how with some of the trickier questions, like what mistake have you made or what problem have you faced, they took a couple seconds to really think about it, and they felt comfortable with that. You know, they didn't rush into an answer or get flustered. They seemed confident enough to be thoughtful about their answers, which I said afterwards was really great with all of them.
And can you all
I'm sorry, go ahead. Just continue to be true to themselves and be authentic, and just breathe through it. Just be real. Just breathe through it, but just be authentic.
Yeah, mine was very similar because I think the thing I enjoyed most was when they relaxed enough that I started getting to see who they were and their sense of humor and themselves. Because I think they would all start with a very like, this is who they want me to be, and then they'd kind of relax, and then that was what I wanted to see.
And can I ask, when they did that, would you consider that they were still being appropriately professional with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
I thought one of my students, Maurice, sat down and said, basically, if you don't mind, I'd like to start with a question for you. And I thought, but he did it very politely because he said, you know, what made you do what you do? You know, how? And I thought, well, that's not such a bad way to start an interview, to say first, I want to get to know you so I know how to do this interview. I thought it was, I don't know if he did it on the spur of the moment or thought it out, but I thought it was a very clever way to start. And so he did start that way, and so I told him why I do what I do, and he said, And then I said, well, what do you want? You know, and how do you use that information? And he wanted to understand my enthusiasm about what I did, and then kind of convey his. I thought that was awfully clever. But they all, if I could give them one, just being what I am, I would say open up your mouth more and finish your words. But that would be a very technical thing. But I would also like them to learn, there is a college counselor here. I would like them to learn more about, what year were they?
They're all seniors.
They're all seniors. I would like them to start really seriously examining what a school is, what a university is, what a college is, so they have the lingo when they do go to places, so they understand that a college is part of a university, etc. You know, just the lingo. I'd like them to understand that and understand the different types of university. One of my young men listed 4 schools: Clark Atlanta, Georgia State, Harold Washington, and DeVry. And so I would, in examining him, I said, okay, I said, first of all, as a mentor, I'm going to tell you no for-profit schools, because all those credits might not transfer to a university or college. I worry about them not getting good information about how to use a for-profit school. So that, in that sense. And then I talked to him about Harold Washington, and he really wants to move. He's thinking of it, or DeVry, as a stepping stone to Clark Atlanta or Georgia State. So it obviously wants to go to Atlanta eventually, get down to Atlanta.
I
would just say that an interview is an opportunity to show all the great qualities that you have to your interviewer, and a lot of the students did a really good job of that, and focus on the skills that make you unique. So one of the students used his basketball skills and his leadership on the team to show me that he's a leader, and that resonated throughout his answers, and that's something that I took away from meeting him and will remember about him. So I think use this to sell yourself and all the great qualities that you have, and leave an impression on your interviewer. Show them why you're different and why you're unique.
Going off of that, I would say learn to be the biggest advocate for yourself. And I don't know that they've ever had someone come to them and say, you should think about the good qualities that you have in yourself. Like, you should think about the strengths that you have as a person. And I don't think that a lot of them have the experience of someone being on their side and poking them and saying, hey, like, you do all of these things so well, you should be able to share that with people. And so I would just say that is like a big part. You know, they are more comfortable with it than they were when they first started, but like even pushing it even further and just really promoting themselves. You're, you know, like our Shark Tank activity, you're selling the product of yourself, and they're all great. So they should be proud to talk about the good things about themselves. It like makes me tear up, but she is so much more confident than she was. But I mean, you can tell she's been told like, her whole life that she's not gonna, I hate crying, that she's not gonna succeed like other people. And
so she's been in an environment where that inner voice has been very destructive toward her, and she showed quite a bit of maturity today and growth.
yeah,
And it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
it's on video.
But it is on video.
It's amazing to have this experience today from the standpoint of just interviewing young people, opposed to having to interview them from a criminal standpoint. And each one of these young men brought to the table a strong sense of their life experience for such a young age. Especially your valedictorian, Terrence. He showed an excellent level of conflict resolution with how he extended just the energy he bring in the room. When he greeted me, his interjection was totally powerful and positive, and like, okay, I'm here, let's do what we have to do. And I'm here to take something away from here that I can share with someone else without even saying it. And he wasn't aware that that's what he was doing. Norier. Norier is a self-starter, and it appears that from his background, he's had to take care of himself because of some of the things he shared with me about his siblings and about being with his mom, and all of them were coming from women in the head of households. And so I've only talked to two of them who really kind of shared that they had a man type of example, a positive example in their life. One of the young men was talking about his stepfather who was incarcerated, and I was really proud that he was able to engage that even though he was incarcerated, that was a positive experience for him, to let him know that that wasn't what he wanted for his life. And that was powerful because he can share that with other young people. So this has been an awesome experience.